I've been testing GPT-5 now for about 3 weeks since it came out, and the results have kind of shocked me. You see, whenever a new model or feature comes out, I try to do unique business use cases that are now possible because of that new model or the new feature. But when I tried to do that for GPT-5, I nearly lost my mind. But then I figured it actually might be helpful for you to share the reality of using GPT-5 for online businesses. Because honestly, many of the glowing GPT-5 use cases that are being shared around and have been shared around for the past few weeks aren't really specific to GPT-5. You could do the exact same thing with, say, like O3 or even 4.0. I have consistently gotten subpar output from GPT-5. The same exact prompt that I've given to GPT-5 and then given to Claude Sonnet 4, Claude gave me way better results and in a fraction of the time. Because one thing with GPT-5, especially when you have the thinking mode on, it takes a while. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you where I think GPT-5 really falls flat with a few different types of use cases. And I'm also gonna give you some of the differences in GPT-5 compared to using the 4.0 model or even the O3 model. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Rick Mulready, and for the past 11 and a half years, I've run a multi-7-figure online business, helping other online business owners grow and scale their business more efficiently. Today, I run a community called the AI Playbook, where I help online businesses leverage AI so that you can grow your business more efficiently and also increase profit in the process. I'll link to that community in the description below. So when it comes to GPT-5, there are a few things that you should know. Number one, the GPTs are likely not working the way that they used to, or they're broken. One of my members in my community let me know, hey Rick, the GPT that we've been using for a while, it just is broken now. And I went in and sure enough, it was broken because it had been automatically upgraded to GPT-5 and something happened with it. I don't know. I changed the model on the back end and everything's 5 now. Number two, GPT-5's architecture is fundamentally different from other GPT models, which means prompting GPT-5 is different from how you would have prompted like 4.0, for example. And how you prompt it matters a ton with GPT-5. It's one of my biggest probably complaints and disappointments when it comes to this model. So number one, it likes clear, specific prompts. And not that that's a bad thing, but it follows instructions very, very well. So if you happen to contradict yourself in your prompt, the model is going to get hung up on that. Also, OpenAI recommends using XML tags. Okay, that's not something new. We've been doing that for a long time now, specifically over on Claude with Anthropic, but OpenAI now wants us using XML tags for the best results with GPT-5 to separate the different sections of our prompt. And so the first use case I want to share with you is what I like to call the automated business planning and execution. I asked it for 10 solopreneur business ideas. And the goal here is to ideate 10 high potential, low capital online businesses for a time-starved entrepreneur, score them, pick the winner, draft core launch assets, and then I've given it other information here. Here's the result. So it gives me the list of 10 business ideas. Then it gives me the weighted comparison matrix that I've asked for. It's picked a winner and constraint check all by itself. It wrote landing page copy, gave me a 12-week KPI plan. This is what it gave me. I could have done this easily with 4.0 and probably gotten better results. And here's the result in Claude. Again, Claude Sonnet 4, exact same prompt, exact same context. We'll talk about the chart here in just a second. Okay, it gave me the same kind of idea list. The chart looks so much better. It gave me the winner, but it also told me the quality of the output here on why it chose the winner. Gives me the KPI plan. Then we went to the charts, and this is, now let me just show you again the GPT-5 charts. Here's our ho-hum charts from supposedly all-powerful GPT-5. And here is the exact same request to Claude. And here's our business opportunity weighted scoring matrix ranked by TAM, differentiation, margin, and automation. Yeah, I think this is a lot better. And I mean, this is something I could take and put it right into a PDF. And so that's just one use case example of where GPT-5 here is like, I think overall really underwhelming. All right, for this second use case, I wanted GPT-5 to act as as you can see here in my prompt, an AI chief of staff for a coaching business. I'm asking it to pull in things from my calendar and things about what it knows about me and from a context standpoint. But here's the result, okay? So it checked my calendar, which is great. Because I have my Google Calendar connected as a connector to ChatGPT. And it looked at my calendar and said, okay, I'm going to break this down and assign each task an ID, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now it's drafted artifacts. Okay, so AI owned tasks by task ID. Again, it assigned IDs to the specific tasks. So for my newsletter, I send out a Sunday morning newsletter every week called the AI Playbook. And it's given me a title idea, audience hook, sections, subject lines, etc. Then from that exact same topic, it's giving me YouTube thumbnail copy and title ideas, again, around the same topic. Then it gave me some email reply templates to be used over the next 24 hours. This is directly taking from memory context that it has about me. Then it gives me an SOP checklist for the newsletter workflow, which I do like. Meeting agenda, newsletter concept, bullets. It's kind of all over the place. YouTube comment reply templates. I don't use any templates when I reply. Then it gives me a bottleneck / risk watch list, which I kind of like. I did like this. And then I do like the fact that it asked me, would you like me to extend this into a rolling 3-day window? So you always see how today connects to tomorrow's priorities. I actually like that. What I don't like is the lack of depth in this response. Let's look at the output over in Claude. Claude knows even a little bit less about me contextually for this specific example here. So you can see here that it used, again, the connectors, MCP connections, because I'm connected to Google Calendar, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, the real win with this and the difference between what Sonnet 4 gave me and what GPT-5 gave me is the level of each one of these. So for the newsletter outline, for example, it's much more in-depth. Member community engagement and content curation. This is also part of the newsletter. Again, this wasn't included in the GPT-5 output. And again, what's so surprising to me is that ChatGPT, from a memory standpoint and context, is supposed to, quote unquote, know this about me and the newsletter and so forth and my AI Playbook community. Claude does not have this level of memory on it. And so anyway, this is way more in-depth. It's way more helpful information. It gives me an email automation sequence optimization, improved conversion rates, which that is super helpful. Gives me A/B test elements. And then finally, it finished off with looks like it's a more comprehensive bottleneck / risk watch list. So just the level, the depth of information, the output that gave me in Claude here with the exact same prompt is just so much better. And again, I'm just so disappointed in the lack of depth that GPT-5 did here. Now, I will say that the thinking mode with ChatGPT, it takes a while. It's pretty long. Even when I'm using the thinking mode in GPT-5, the level of time that it takes compared to Claude is like seconds compared to how long I had to wait for GPT-5. This last use case I want to show you is for financial forecasting. So what I've done is I've given it 3 years of historical data. So what I've asked it to do is I've given it the role of an FP&A analyst producing board-ready P&L scenario projections. So the goal here is to build monthly P&L scenarios for the next 3 years using only the pasted forecasts. So I've given it forecasts, include clear assumptions, rolling 12-month views, yearly subtotals, and an executive summary. I've given it a massive amount of data that I put into a text file. I've given it GPT-5 and Claude the exact same file in terms of the data. And again, the exact same prompt. And here are the results for GPT-5. You can see up here, I was using the thinking level of the model and it thought for 7.5 minutes or so. So it gives me the executive summary. Then it gives me the P&L. Now it's given me CSV files that I can copy and import directly into a Google Sheet. Now here's a big thing too, is it truncated it for brevity in the display. So it's saying full 36-month upside, CSV is computed and available upon request. So in order to get what I actually asked it for, I'd have to ask it again to give me that. Yearly subtotals, okay, rolling 12 months. It's kind of hard to read. It gave me these sort of, early, looks like video game style graphics here for the visuals. Now, again, you'll see the same graphics, but they're just cleaner in Claude. KPI comparison snapshot. Okay, I like this actually. And then it gave me the gaps and risks and the formulas for reference, which I asked it to do. Let's go take a look at the results over in Claude. Here's what it gives me. So it gave me the summary, gave me the critical, this isn't even part of the output of the report, but it gave me the enterprise tier inflection point, remarkable unit economics, critical decision points revealed, board ready P&L scenario analysis, 36-month projection. So here's the executive summary. Here's the assumptions and mapping. I actually have a scroll bar to look at. Scenario assumptions. Also, it gave me the full CSV base for the P&L that I could take and put it into, copy and paste it into a Google Sheet. It's giving me everything I've asked for. I don't have to like ask it again. Yearly subtotals. I just like the tables are just cleaner, right? Graphics, I don't know. I mean, for me, they look a little bit better. It gives me a chart that for me, again, the way that they presented this is so much better. Gaps and risks, formulas, margin definitions. And I did put, by the way, deep thinking here. So I asked it to do the extended thinking, in Claude also to try to match them up as best I could, apples to apples-ish. It's just such a better output from Claude. So one thing that OpenAI has done is released a GPT-5 prompt optimizer in their playground, which is we're looking at here on the screen. So basically you put in your prompt and click optimize at the bottom here, and then it will optimize it for GPT-5, okay? Now, as you can see here, Prompt Optimizer will apply best practices to your prompt. So what that's referring to is this page right here, GPT-5 Prompting Guide, and it takes you through all the best practices for prompting GPT-5. Also, they put together this GPT-5 prompt migration and improvement using the new optimizer, which is what I just showed you. And one thing I found with the GPT-5 prompt optimizer that they have given us here is that the prompt output that they give you that's optimized for a GPT-5 according to OpenAI is pretty technical, and it's really geared more towards using it in the API. When I tested copying and pasting that into ChatGPT to straight in the ChatGPT, I did not get good results, and I felt like it was just too technical for what I was looking for. Now, if you use the API at all and you're more technically advanced, go for it, right? All in all, I have just been so frustrated working with GPT-5, and whenever I'm in ChatGPT, I'm using the other older models like O3 and 4.0. And the freedom of loosely prompting like you could with 4.0 or O3 and you can in Claude, I feel like that's gone away. And you have to follow a very strict prompting framework with GPT-5 or else the output just isn't going to be very good. And there's so much talk, right, about OpenAI wanting ChatGPT to be the AI model for the masses. I do not think this is it at all. I don't think they're heading in the right direction with GPT-5. I would love to see big changes with this as we go forward. Who knows? We'll see. But that is my thought on GPT-5, and I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Again, I'll link to my community, the AI Playbook, in the description below. I'll also link to, if you want these prompts, I will link to the prompts below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.